My name's Barry Tomes. Welcome to my US 10 very special edition because I have a guest in the studio. This is my guest, Hannah Handers. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Do you even know where you are? You've been that busy.
I think I'm somewhere in England. Birmingham.
Which is nowhere near London.
No, it's nowhere near London.
And you can't get a tube.
And we're not in Europe.
I love this girl. Oh my
and
God.
the Queen is not coming over at the end.
Oh no, she's
She is, okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. So welcome to the show and thank you for coming in. And the first thing I want to ask you, because this must be on your mind, where are you spending Thanksgiving?
I will be back in America by Thanksgiving. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
And is it a fight? Like we, in the UK, Christmas is always a fight because people get married and they want to spend it with one parent or the other, or newlyweds want to spend it alone, or like Harry, I think, is going to America with Meghan, I think, this year.
He told me that.
Yeah, no, he
said
outside, you met him at the hot dog stand at Costco. I get that bit.
Yeah. We talked about it.
So we have that issue Christmas all the time with families.
Yeah.
Does that happen with Thanksgiving?
I think so. You know, Thanksgiving is really, it's a funny one because it's really just dinner. It's not like Christmas where you've got these days and days and days of festivities leading up to it. Thanksgiving is really just about getting together and eating with your family. So it can get a little bit competitive as far as who gets to host the Thanksgiving dinner. You kind of go where they have the best turkey.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
I did that in Colorado. I thought their turkey looks better than theirs. I'm going.
Yeah, that's if you can't decide, push on the turkeys. Which one looks juicier? That's where you go.
I remember many years ago going to one, and we sat down, and I think it was about 10 or 12 people in this family, and they asked everybody the question, which I guess they do. What are you thankful for? So of course they asked the British guy, didn't they? They're bound to do that.
Of course.
So what are you thankful for? I said, well, I'm just thankful to have American friends.
Aww.
And I hope I can add you to that list.
I hope so too.
That's 4 I've got now.
4. It's a nice even number. Do you need more than that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's double or quits.
Okay. All right. Okay. There.
So anyway, you're here today
Yeah.
because you're promoting a new single.
Yes.
Tell us the title of the single.
The single is called While I Still Got Time. It's probably my favorite song on the whole album.
Okay.
And so it's been really fun to come out and promote it and talk
Right.
about it. We shot a music video for it, which is up online now. And so it was fun because I always kind of had a vision for the song and a vision for the video. And so to get to watch it all kind of go the way you hope it will, which we know does not always happen.
Yeah, of course.
It's been really, really good.
It's brilliant. We played it on last month's show.
Thank
So
you.
obviously we've just played it now.
Yes.
I want you to choose one other song that you'd like us to play.
Off my album?
Yeah. Or for Led Zeppelin, I don't mind.
Oh.
I mean, you do have a works for you, sweetheart.
Can I say I wrote it?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
This
if
is
we
a
get
song
the
I
royalties.
wrote when I was negative 25 years old. Probably, another really good one I think off the album that we've actually been playing live in different studios is a song called 18.
18.
And that was the last song added to the album. It was one of these moments where we sat down and kind of looked at the body of work, and my producer said, we're missing one. I need one more that's just kind of you and real and honest. And so sat down, and this is the song that came from that. And it's very simple. There's not a lot of crazy instrumentation and production. It's really just about the guitar, the vocal, and the story, which is kind of country music at its best.
Great, yeah, absolutely. Now, we got your guitarist with us today, haven't we, in the
Yes, we
studio,
do.
off camera. Is he good? Is he really
Oh,
good?
he's the best.
Is he the best?
He's the best.
He's the only one you can get to travel with, is that right?
Well, there's that too.
Well, he's really cool, and I'm sorry we're not doing a live session,
It's
but
okay.
maybe I've got an idea. We had you on last month's show.
Yeah.
We're having you on this month's show. Why don't you record a live session
Okay.
and send it in?
I would love to do that.
And then we get you in the December show.
Yay!
It's 3 for the price of 1.
Oh my gosh.
We're cheap. We're cheaper than Costco.
Yes! Cheaper than a hot dog at Costco. Yeah.
So let me ask you, as I said to you, and we chatted before, I don't read people's bios because they put out, and I'm a PR company, so we put them out. 9 things might not even be true, but they're on there because they're funny. I like to ask a question you didn't expect.
I'm
and
ready.
I like that. And things like, for example, we've been talking off camera about the amount of artists are just within a 15-mile radius of this studio.
Yeah.
And there's something in the water here, definitely.
Apparently so.
I'm going to make sure you all drink that. So
Please.
you've got to be really creative.
I should have accepted water when we started.
Yeah, well,
No.
the offer's still on the table, 50 cents a bottle. It's
Worth it, I think. Yeah.
Is there one British artist you'd like to perform with?
Oh my gosh, one British artist I would like to perform with. Well, so of the bands we were talking about off camera, I do love Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
Of the modern artists, I love Sam Smith. I think.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
great. Yeah,
his
obviously.
voice. I love his songwriting. I'm a sucker for Ed Sheeran. I know, I'm such an American. I love him to death. Great songwriter. He just did his compilation album, which
He did lots of tracks with so many different artists.
So many different artists.
I think we had like number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in the charts with Ed.
well, they're all so fun and so good, and but yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to duet with Robert Plant?
Exactly.
That'd be amazing. Alison Krauss kind of beat
Oh,
me
it's
to it.
incredible. You look a bit like her, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
thank
Got
you.
lovely hair like Alison. And a
So-
beautiful voice the same.
Oh, well, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. I got the hairdressers earlier too.
Yeah, we both went to the same person, I think, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I haven't found a comb in 30 years, sweet. I'm just glad to have hair at my age. I don't care
You
what
have
it looks
very
like.
nice hair.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank
Yes.
you very much. So obviously Robert Plant would be great, and he's really cool. He's doing a little tour now with a band, and it's funny how the music industry. Now I've not seen this guy Tony Kelsey in probably 30 years, but we're still friends, and that's how the music business is. You meet people all over the world. He's in a band with Robert now, and what the last time I saw Robert was to try and save the local town hall. But if you're a football fan, I'm not a football soccer, as you would say. I'm not a football fan. But Wolverhampton Wanderers, which is about 15 miles from here, Robert Plant is a fan, and he turns up, he sits in the stand with his scarf on,
I love it.
and just has a beer with the guys.
I love that.
And that's the guy stayed real, and I know he's been offered hundreds of millions, and he constantly is, to redo the Led Zeppelin stuff. But I like the fact that if I was a builder, I wouldn't build the same wardrobe every year for 50 years. I'd want to create new designs. I'd want to move with the times. I'd want to do new things.
Absolutely.
And he does that. And that to me personally is to his credit. And it's like ABBA in the same way. ABBA have become phenomenal. They would offer £700 million to get together. And they said, but why? We're not, we stopped being ABBA 35 years ago.
But don't you love that artistic integrity? Because it's so easy. £700 million.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've got that much integrity.
We do. I'll be Robert Plant for that, sweet.
Yeah, I'll be Alison Krauss.
Exactly.
We're ready.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll do that. No problem at all. So I'm going to have a
That's
word
our
with
going
Robert.
rate, in case anybody wonders.
Yeah. Plus VAT, which is the tax.
That's
Okay.
right.
So we'll have a word with Robert. We'll see if we can set that up next time.
Okay.
Well, definitely would be cool to get you to a gig or something. Now, he's a
Gosh,
band
that'd be amazing.
that I've worked with probably 30 or 40 times, and I met them in 1982. And let me see what your take is on a band called the Beach Boys. You would know the Beach Boys.
Yes, I know.
Do you like the Beach Boys?
I did like the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
We're good friends with actually one of their piano players.
Okay.
And the Beach Boys for me are like quintessentially American.
Yeah.
It sort of embodies that beach town,
Yeah,
1960s
yeah,
boardwalk surfer
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I worked with them originally in 1982 in South Africa, and I've worked with Brian Wilson probably 15, 20 times. And they, for me, are your Led Zeppelin, not musically,
Right.
but they are,
Sort of iconically.
everybody knows them, they are everywhere. And
Yeah.
funny enough, Led Zeppelin, when they had Stairway to Heaven, which was like 7 minutes long, it was too long for radio, because
Yeah.
most radio is 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Actually, that was the theme tune, Whole Lot of Love, which one was it? Was theme tune to Top of the Pops, I'm trying to think. That was a Led Zeppelin track, and yet that was the theme tune.
Yeah.
But they never got on there. They never got to perform on that show, but they made millions from
Hey,
from
as long as
being
the
the
check
theme
comes,
tune. Okay, so what was the first song you wrote?
The first song I wrote was a song called In Your Arms.
Oh,
and I was
bless.
14 years
Oh, bless.
old. I was a tiny
6 years ago,
baby.
blimey, that's great. Man.
6 years ago. Come a long way in 6 years. It was an accidental songwriting session. I sat down with a friend in high school, and he played guitar, and we just started to jam together a little
Yeah.
bit, and it just kind of came out. And I actually recorded that song because I don't know looking back that it was very good, but in the moment you're like, I just wrote
You've
my
written a
first
song.
song.
No, absolutely.
And
that's
it's
it,
this baby that you bring
Yeah,
into the world,
absolutely, yeah.
and that was kind of got the bug. I was like,
Wow.
oh, this is cool, yeah.
So you'd like to do a co-write perhaps with Ed Sheeran. I'll tell you a little bit about Ed Sheeran.
Please.
Ed Sheeran started in a studio about 20 miles from here in a place called Leamington. And there's a band called Nizlopi you may not have heard of. Now, Nizlopi have only had one hit record.
Okay.
And they had a hit record called the JCB song. Now, do you know what JCB is? Okay, it's a digger. You see them all the time. A big yellow digger that digs holes in the road.
Okay.
That's a JCB.
Okay.
And he wrote a song about his dad and a JCB. I think his dad drove a JCB, and that's what made him write the song. And that became a big hit. Now, they had a studio in Leamington, and they still tour and they work, and they've done several albums and sort of incredible stuff. They just had one hit gimmick record, which sometimes can ruin your career in the sense that people think you're a gimmick.
Right.
Ed Sheeran was their T-boy.
Oh.
And Ed actually, for about 2 years, worked in there. And when they finished, he used to say, I'll clear up, can I stay in the studio and practice? And I was so proud of him. About 2 years ago, he was on TV on a really huge show here called Jonathan Ross. And on that show, Jonathan Ross was gushing and said, you're amazing. He said, but I wasn't always amazing. He said, I only got good because I practiced.
That's right.
I wasn't always amazing. And he pulled his phone out of his pocket and he played a piece of music that was not great. And he said, that was me
Yeah.
20 years ago.
I love it.
He worked in the studio and he actually credits Nizlopi with his success because everything he does musically is Nizlopi.
Wow.
And it's like you don't know where people come from.
That's
but Ed
right. But you
is
have to
incredible.
love people's honesty about that because it's
Yeah.
true. You're not good at something till you're good at it.
Exactly, yeah.
You know,
absolutely,
everyone's
yeah.
a beginner,
Yeah,
and I think that's great.
I think in 10, 15 years' time, I'll be a good radio presenter.
Hey, you're doing okay right
Very
now.
good.
though, yeah.
But so, obviously, you've been on tour, you've been doing a lot of radio shows in England, and isn't fuel expensive in England? It's like $12
Holy
a gallon. It's the biggest shock Americans have. You pay about $4.
We pay like $2.80 in Nashville.
Frightening. Frightening.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest shock when most Americans come here on tour
Yes.
and they go to fill up and it's like
The fuel
you know, 70
crazy.
quid for what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And right now, the pound to the dollar, we got
Yeah.
kind of the short end of the stick
Yeah.
on that right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it hits 70
Yeah.
pounds, you're like, whoo,
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting.
Well, my beautiful black truck outside, which is an American truck, it takes about £95 in fuel. Now, I'm so old, my first car only cost £87. It cost £87 less than the fuel for this car.
For this
one
car.
thing.
See how
Isn't
much
that
you've
what-
seen happen.
Absolutely. Frightening. All those millions I paid tax. But you know something? Would you, if somebody said to you, and we don't really do politics on this show because people fall out, we're going to put the gas up to $10 or $12, but you're going to have a free national health service.
Ooh.
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah, because
For everybody.
For everybody.
And then you have to say, am I going to be selfish and say, I'm not paying, I've already got good insurance, I've got great cover. What about people that haven't?
No, you really want to know my thought on that?
Yeah,
Are we gonna get
absolutely.
political?
How long we got? This is a 1 hour show, baby.
Well, my thoughts on that are, I think that because Americans have not really experienced national health care, I think that there's a lot of fear around it and a lot of misunderstanding.
Totally.
And I think that Americans have this notion that their taxes go up and that's the only thing that they focus on, and they
Yeah.
fail to focus on the fact that we are charged obscene amounts of money for insurance,
Yeah.
premiums, co-pays, words
Yeah.
that don't exist here because
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah,
how your
totally.
system works.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a perfect system anywhere, but I do think that there's something to be said about people not having to die because they can't go to the hospital, or people bankrupting because they can't
Yeah.
afford their hospital bills. And if I had to pay a little bit more in gas money so that somebody's mom could be treated
Yeah.
for cancer, I would
Yeah.
absolutely do that.
Brilliant. Because what I like about it, if you had an accident in the UK and you were driving a Rolls Royce,
Yeah,
and you had an accident, you were driving a car worth $50,
yeah.
you both get the same ambulance,
See, yeah, that's how it
and
should
you
be.
both get the same treatment.
That's how it should be.
Afterwards, the guy with the Rolls Royce might have a TV put in his room. He might get flown to another hospital.
Right.
But at the point when you most need it,
Yes.
it's the same for everybody.
That's how it should
And
be.
we don't, and it's the same for people that come into the UK. I read an interesting story with an American guy years ago, and his daughter had an eye injury, and he went to an hospital. He said, I was horrified. Went into an hospital in London. He said, it was this old Victorian building, dark and dingy. He said, I was absolutely horrified. He said, but not only do we have the best treatment ever, when I tried to give them my insurance information to claim this, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Treatment's free.
I had to go in a hospital the first trip we were here.
Right.
I injured I did something to my knee. And we were living in Los Angeles at the time, so it was about an 11-hour flight to London. And my mom was really concerned maybe I had developed a blood clot or something sitting on the plane.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I mean, I almost couldn't weight bear on my leg. It was so bad, and I didn't know what to do because I didn't know how the system worked here. So I was staying in Kingston. We were staying in Kingston right outside of London, and I went into a hospital, and I said, I'm so sorry. I don't know how the process is, but I just want to make sure before I take off on this tour that I have not got something kind of dangerous going on. And I had the exact same experience. Not only was, I mean, everyone talks about the wait times. The wait times in American emergency rooms are hours. I mean, you sit there for hours. Not only I was seen within an hour, I was treated so kindly. They ran all the tests that they needed to run, and fortunately I was okay. And he said, well, I'd like to offer you a painkiller because obviously you're in quite a bit of pain. And I said, well, can I at least pay for that because I don't pay taxes into your country. I felt bad.
Yeah.
And he was like, you're in pain. I don't know why we would punish you for that. And the concept of that, and to experience it firsthand was, I really think that most people speak without a lot of information. And I can say firsthand, I was treated incredibly well here.
Brilliant. And it's interesting because I was in America and I thought I'd broke my jaw. I chewed a piece of gum. Thought I broke my jaw, went. And the first thing they wanted to do was give me an x-ray, obviously.
Sure.
But he wanted $900
Oh, yeah.
for an x-ray.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'd got £5 million insurance. I've got worldwide insurance because I travel all the time.
Yeah.
So I gave them the insurance details. And because of the time zone difference, the office in New York was shut where I was.
Yeah.
So they made me pay something like $100 to see a doctor first. He then gave me painkillers and charged me $50. And then I said, look, I'm flying home tomorrow. I'll get an x-ray. Now, I injured my foot recently quite badly. I went to what we call A&E. I went in. It says you're 61st in the queue. You go, oh,
yeah.
I actually was seen within 30 minutes into the next room, examined by 2 nurses, referred to a small department with an x-ray. I had an x-ray. The results were given to the doctor within 15 minutes. Within 1 hour, he realised I got nothing broken, offered me painkillers, which I turned down, and I was offered a pair of crutches, which cost about $200, and, go see your doctor tomorrow. So I got no complaints.
Yeah.
People do complain.
Yeah.
So you got to write a song about, this is the challenge for when you come back. I want you to write a song about the National Health Service. I want you to call it NHS.
I'm on it.
You're on it?
I'm on it. We'll make them a little jingle.
Yeah, could you do that?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, now before you go, tell everybody the title of the album.
The title of the album is Good Time. The single is While I Still Got Time. Oh, 2 times. And everything is available where you download and
And all
stream.
that digital stuff.
All the digital
What
stuff.
about real vinyl for old people like me?
We have not pressed a vinyl.
Oh dear.
Oh, I know, I'm so
Switch
sorry.
cameras off. Good night, everybody. Start the car.
Sorry. We did have it mastered so it could be pressed to vinyl.
You do that if you
So
can.
yeah, at some point we will do that.
What about physical CDs?
I
Do
do
you
have
still
some
sell
physical
them? You do
CDs.
that
Yep,
as well?
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really important from a photo op, is to hold up that CD.
Yeah.
And my daughter's mum, when somebody said, what does he do for a living? This guy's all over the world. She said he goes around the world holding up a CD. And that kind of sums up my job. I hold up the latest CD by the latest artist.
Yeah.
We take a picture, boom.
Amazing. Well, I've got one. We'll take a picture.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Can I get one?
Yes.
I've got dollars. I can pay in dollars and everything.
I'll just gift it to you.
Brilliant.
Yes.
So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Have some fun at the market today.
Yes, we will.
And tonight will be brilliant. Thank you for bringing your friends along.
You're welcome.
They're so quiet and sweet, aren't they?
Yes.
Till they get in the car. You wait what they say.
Yeah.
We've planted a mic on
report
this
back,
one, so
yeah.
we can find out what you're talking about us. Psychos in that studio. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
We
having
loved
me.
it. And we're going to play your track from the album called 18.
Yes.
And you were 18 about 2 years ago, weren't you?
Well, it was 4. We're going down.
Yeah,
So
no,
I'm like
no, yeah.
literally
Yeah.
Benjamin buttoning in front of your eyes.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely
Thanks.
brilliant. My name's Barry Tomes. You've been listening to my US 10. Thank you to John Purser here at Brick It House Studios in Birmingham, the home of Alfred the Butler from Batman.